Hi to everyone. Is my voice audible to you? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, have you all enrolled for the course Engineering Mathematics 1? You enrolled for the course Engineering Mathematics 1? Okay. So, you have started watching the videos of Professor Jitendra Kumar in the NPTEL portal? Okay. Nice, nice. So, I am actually taking this NPTEL course for the last maybe last 4 years. I am taking different NPTEL course, so I have quite experience in this direction. I have taken. So briefly, I am giving my introduction. So my name is Shankho Narayan Chattopadhyay. So it is a big name. Uh, so it is actually Shankho. We Bengali write A, but we pronunciate it as O. So this, and I am currently a PMRF scholar at Indian Institute of Technology Ropar in Department of Mathematics. So this is my last year. Probably during December I will defend my thesis, and so I am taking this TA for maybe I have taken it for a couple of times in 2023 as well as I am taking in 2025. So are all of you from BTech background or some of you are from MSc and all? BSc MSc background anybody or everybody is from BTech background? BTech Aeronautical, Prakrit Purohit. Okay.
I'm from MSc background,
Even
mathematics, MSc mathematics.
Acha, from which university?
My master degree, I have pursued my master degree from IIT Roorkee, and then I completed my PhD from University of Kalyani.
Oh, acha, very nice. University of Kalyani under which supervisor?
Professor Sanjeev Kumar Dotto.
Acha, I know. You know Professor Somaresh Pal. He's senior actually. He's one of
Yes, sir. Yes.
his two students actually did postdoc from here. So you are quite
Okay.
You
Okay,
also,
okay.
since you completed PhD, you are senior to me also. So you know Dr. Arindam Mondal.
Yes.
Dr. Arindam Mondal and Saswati Biswas, both Dr. Arindam Mondal actually did postdoc from IIT Ropar. So I know him basically. So you passed out PhD in last year?
No. I completed my PhD in 2014.
Oh, 2014.
Yes.
Oh, then you are very senior to me. Sorry. Actually, I
No.
mostly the class is for BTech people, so that's why I asked about BTech people. Because so okay, even sometimes I can fumble in the course in between. So please rectify me if I do any mistake. Okay.
No problem. No problem.
And anybody other?
Direction, such kind of courtesy is not necessary.
No. Actually,
Don't worry about that.
Actually, I am a very awful teacher. I have missed many things. I forget, and that things happen because knowledge is a two-way process. I do not believe in this kind of system because this is rather interaction class. It is not teacher and student kind of thing. So I request everybody to please interact with me. I am a bit talkative guy, so please interact with me. And I may fumble sometimes. I write plus and but I read it as minus. So I may goof up something. So please be okay with it, and whenever I do some fumble, even in many topics, many of you know much better than me, but please cooperate with me, and if I do any this kind of mistakes, you please rectify it me. I am always open with it. Okay, so basically in today's class it will be a okay, Hitasri Bhatia, from where you are? You are in from BTech background? Jalgaon, okay, Maharashtra. So you are from BTech background or MSc, BSc, MSc? BTech. Okay. I hope all of you will continue till the very end of the course. So this is basically my last TA for under this NPTEL. Probably this is my last TA. After that, my course will be completed. So there will be no need to take. So it was very learning experience for me for last 3.5 years also. So okay. I have a bad habit, and that bad habit is I ask questions. random questions. And I request all of you, since mathematics is incomplete without pen and paper, so I request all of you, because it is ultimately mathematics course, so I request all of you to please keep a notepad or a copy and along with a pen, so that whenever I give you simple questions, you can solve them, and we can actually have a fruitful journey ahead. Okay, so please, many of you joined, and I request all of you to please continue with the course also. Okay, so forget about this course code. It was earlier, so it is wrong. It is 130. So engineering mathematics 1, it is my name. I have, so first of all, please write down these questions. Please write down these questions. We will try to solve these questions first. So in this class, it will be basically a beginners level class, and we will discuss about basic calculus on the real line, and then we will eventually progress to calculus of two variables. So I request all of you, is my screen not visible, right? Oh, I have not shared my screen.
Not yet. Not yet.
Oh, is my screen visible now?
Yes.
So okay, just write down these questions and try to solve these questions. We will together try to solve these questions. Okay. Our aim is to evaluate certain limits. So first question is a x tends to infinity, limit x square plus 3x by x square plus x plus 1. Then second question, I am giving 2 to 3 minutes. Please write this question. Admit. Please write these questions. Once you are done with these questions, please tell me that the questions you have written properly. Is it done? You have written all these questions? Oh. Okay. So just Okay, so I will start with first prove that first question was limit x tends to infinity x square plus 3x by x square plus x plus 1. So okay, so you can do it in two ways. First by substituting and not by substituting. So limit x tends to infinity x square plus 3x by x square plus x plus 1. Limit x tends to infinity x square plus 3x by x square plus x plus 1. This is equals to limit x tends to infinity. You divide by x square, since division is permissible now because we are considering in the limiting sense. So limit x tends to infinity gives you 1 plus 3 by x, 1 plus 1 by x plus 1 by x square. Now since x tends to infinity, then that means 1 by x is tending towards 0 from the right side. This 1 by x tends to 0 plus means 1 by x converting towards 0 from the right side. So that means 1 plus 3 by x, 1 plus 1 by x plus 1 by x square. This 3 by x is 0, 1 by x is 0, 1 by x square is 0. So ultimately you get 1 by 1. So this is equal to 1. Is it clear? Very simple problem. Is it clear?
Yes.
Next problem. Next problem is limit x tends to infinity sin x by x plus cos x. Now here see x tends to infinity, but what is the range of sine? The range of sine is first tell me, is sine is a bounded function or not? Anybody? Sine is a bounded function? Is sine a bounded function or an unbounded function?
Bounded.
Yes, it is bounded up above by y and bounded below by minus 1. So we see here sin x is a bounded function as mod sin x is less than or equal to 1, and no matter cos x is positive or negative, x plus cos x always tends to infinity as x tends to infinity, because cos x is also bounded. Mod cos x is less than or equal to 1. So at least the value of cos x is minus 1. So as x tends to infinity, x minus 1 also tends to infinity. So limit x tends to infinity sin x by x cos x equals to 0. Next is limit x tends to infinity root x by root x plus 3. So limit x tends to infinity, here also root x tends to infinity. Since x tends to infinity, divide by root x. So this is 1 by 1 plus 3 by root x. 3 by root x vanishes as root x tends to infinity. So limit 1 by root x tends to 0 plus 1 by 1 plus 3 by root x, and this is 1. So question 1c is also answer is 1. Now how many of you solved the question D? Limit x tends to infinity 1 plus 2 by x की power x. Please tell me answer. Are you solving this question? Limit x tends to infinity 1 plus 2 by x की power x. Is it done? You have solved these questions. See, limit x tends to infinity 1, you it's 2 by x, write it as x by 2. So limit x tends to infinity 1 plus 1 by x by 2, and this x, write x by 2 into 2. So this becomes limit x by 2. Since x tends to infinity, limit x by 2 also tends to infinity. So 1 plus 1 by x by 2 to the power x by 2 power 2. So this answer is e square. Clear? Question 1D clear to you? Please respond. Question 1D is clear?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Next, question E. Prove that limit x tends to 0, sin x by x equal to 1. So in 0 less than x less than pi by 2, sin x is less than tan x. Now sin, you divide both side by sin x. So sin x by sin x is 1. So 1 by 1 less than or equal to x by sin x less than or equal to 1 by cos x in 0 less than x less than pi by 2. So as limit x tends to 0 plus 1 by cos x equal to 1, we have limit x tends to 0 plus x by sin x equal to 1. So we implement sandwich theorem. Sandwich theorem means is if fx, gx, hx some three function, fx less than or equal to gx less than or equal to hx, then if fx and hx converges to the same limit, then gx, the middle one, also converges to the limit, same limit. So therefore by sandwich theorem, limit x tends to 0 plus sin x by x equal to 1. Now if you change that, because now we got the one side limit x tends to 0 plus, but we need to prove for general existence of limit the other side of limit as well, that means the minus side as well. So minus pi by 2 less than x less than 0, it will imply tan x less than sin x. Therefore 1 by cos x is less than or equal to x by sin x less than or equal to 1. You can put less than or equal to here. So 0 less greater than x minus pi by 2, then limit x tends to 0 minus 1 by cos x equal to 1. We have limit x tends to 0 minus x by sin x equal to 1. Therefore by sandwich theorem, limit x tends to 0 minus sin x by x equal to 1. Now you see from at the right hand side limit x tends to 0 plus, as well as left hand side x tends to 0 minus, both of them are 1. It follows that limit x tends to 0, sin x by x equals to 1. Now solve this question F on your own. Limit x tends to infinity, sin x by x. Solve this question. Limit x tends to infinity, sin x by x, and tell me the answer. It is also, the answer is 0, right? Because sin x is a bounded function and x tends to infinity, 1 by x is 0. Okay, we will not waste our time too much. Now question 2, we have discussed basics about limit. Now we will move to continuity. Check the continuity of the function at the point x equal to 2, where fx equal to x square minus 4 by x minus 2, when x not equals to 2, and 10 when x equal to 2. Tell me the answer. Is the function continuous at x equal to 2? It is. Question 2 is continuous or not? Yes, at x equals to 2, it is not continuous, right? You can use epsilon delta definition as well, but intuitively you can also say. Okay, let's move to the solution. Okay, so question 2, let fx equal to x square minus 4 by x minus 2, x not equal to 2, and it is 10 when x equal to 2. So x tends to 2, x square minus 4 by x minus 2 equal to limit x tends to 2. Limit x tends to 2, x square minus 4 by x minus 2, limit x tends to 2, x plus 2, x minus 2 by x minus 2, x minus 2, x minus 2 cancels out, so limit x tends to 2, x plus 2 equal to 4. So therefore it is not continuous at 2, since 2 is a point of but because you have defined it to be 10, but you see the limiting value comes as 4, so that means it is not continuous. But this type of continuity discontinuity we call it a removable discontinuity. Why removable discontinuity? Because we can suitably define the function. That means if we define fx equal to 4 at x equals to 2, then your limit and the functional value matches with one another. So then we can make the discontinuity as continuity. Therefore 2 is a point of removable discontinuity. Next, move to the third question. Take the continuity of the function at the point x equals to 0 where fx equal to 1 by x sin 1 by x. Check this also. Okay, I will move to this solution. See, fx equal to 1 by x sin 1 by x. So here limit x tends to 0, fx does not exist, f is unbounded in 0 comma delta for each delta greater than 0. Now limit superior x tends to 0 fx, this is equal to infinity, and limit inferior x tends to 0 fx is equal to minus infinity. So therefore f is discontinuous at 0. 0 is a point of infinite oscillatory discontinuity, because 1 by x sin 1 by x sin 1 by x which fluctuate from minus 1 to 1, and as your x approaches to 0 minus, your 1 by x sin 1 by x that will diverge towards minus infinity. I will show you its curve, and as x tends to 0 plus, your 1 by sin 1 by x into sin 1 by x will go to, I will show y equal to sin 1 by x divided by x. So you can see, so 0 के आसपास क्या इसका हालत हो रहा है. This function is infinite oscillatory discontinuity around 0, but it behaves smoothly in the, you can see this spike. Is it clear? Here they are infinitely oscillating. You will go, you will get all these curves, so it will never end. It will never end. Okay, next Next question is, let f r2 r defined as fx equal to x square sin 1 by x square, so that f is differentiable on r but f prime is not continuous on r. Please, it is a BSc level question. I request all of you to solve it. आप शो करो इसको कि f डिफरेंशिएबल है but f is not, f prime, that means derivative of f, that is not a continuous function on r. So it, so the only problematic point is 0. Just show for 0. डेरिवेबिलिटी कैसे शो किया जाता है पता है ना? डेरिवेबिलिटी, डिफरेंशिएबिलिटी, हाउ टू शो डिफरेंशिएबिलिटी ऑफ अ फंक्शन. Try to solve this question. Okay, let f r2r be defined by fx as fx equal to x square sin 1 by x square, x not equals to 0, and it is 0 when x equals to 0. So for x not equals to 0, f prime x is 2x sin 1 by x square minus 2 by x cos 1 by x square, and f0 is 0. So now how to prove derivative exists? So for that purpose, limit x tends to 0, fx minus f0 by x minus 0. You need to show that this limit exists finitely. So that means x square sin 1 by x square by x. So that means limit x tends to 0, x sin 1 by x square. So this is 0. That means this limit exists and it is exists finitely. So that means f prime 0 equal to 0. So therefore f is differentiable on R, and the derived function f prime is defined by f equal to this 2x sin 1 by x square minus 2 by x cos 1 by x square, and 0 when x equals to 0. Now limit f prime x does not exist, since 2 by x cos 1 by x square it does not exist. This proves that if f prime is not continuous at 0, because you can see आप इसका लिमिट नहीं निकाल सकते हो. लिमिट x टेंस टू 0, 2x sin 1 by x square minus 2 by x cos 1 by x square. You cannot show that its limit exists finitely, because 2 by x cos 1 by x square does not exist. Is it clear? Now this is a bit brainstorming problem. You need to consider a function f from a comma b to r such that f is continuous on a comma b but fails to be differentiable at exactly 2 points. Anybody please tell me the example. Anybody, can you give this example? Constructs a function. Please, yeah, answer the question. it is a very simple question. The function, think about mod x. Mod x is continuous on -1 to 1, but mod x is not differentiable in x equals to 0. Now you consider, say for example, x into x minus 1, mod of x into x minus 1. So this will all be mod x into mod x minus 1. You can also consider this. So this will fail to be differentiable on x equals to 0 as well as x equals to 1. So consider your a comma b as -2, 2. Very easy problem. So let f equal to -5 to 5 plus r be defined as fx equal to mod x plus x minus 1 for all x -5 to 5. This function is not differentiable at x equals to 0 and x equal to 1. I request later you try to prove it. Next, show that the set of condition in Rolle's theorem is a set of sufficient condition in the same set, since that f prime x may be 0 at some points I in a comma b even if the conditions of the theorem do not hold together. That means we want to show that the Rolle's theorem is actually not necessary. The condition in Rolle's theorem is actually sufficient condition, not the necessary. Okay, I will prove it. The set of condition in Rolle's theorem is a set of sufficient conditions in the sense that f prime x may be 0 at some points I in a comma b even if the conditions of the theorem do not hold together. To establish this, let us consider the function f defined as -1 to 2 by fx equal to mod x plus x minus 1. You can see in the interval -1, 2 fx is 2x minus 1 if 1 less than x less than or equal to 2. It is 1 if 0 less than or 0 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 1. It is 1 minus 2x if -1 less than or equal to x less than 0. So f is continuous in -1, 2, but f is not differentiable at the 0 as well as 1. We have already shown it, but therefore it does not satisfy the second condition of Rolle's theorem. But you see f prime, but it is satisfying f a equal to f b. See, f equal to f b, because if you put 2, so this becomes 3 because 2 into 2 equal to 4 minus 1 equal to 3, and 1 minus 2x becomes 1 plus 2 equal to 3. So therefore f is not differentiable at 0 and 1. So f minus 1 equal to f2 equal to 3. So therefore f does not satisfy the second condition of Rolle's theorem. But that is but still f prime x equal to 0 for all x belongs to 0, 1, because see Rolle's theorem में हम बोलते हैं कि there will be at least some c for which f prime c will be 0. So here see, within this interval 0, less than or equal to x less than 1, the value of fx is 1. That means f prime x x will be 0 for all points varying from 0 to 1. So that means some points में exactly prove हो गया. That means the conditions of Rolle's theorem are not necessary conditions, they are sufficient conditions. Next, question 7. If px is a polynomial of degree greater than 1 and k belongs to R, prove that between any two real roots of px equal to 0 there is a real root of p prime x plus k px equals to 0. इसको प्रूव कर सकते हो आप. px is a polynomial of degree greater than 1 and k is a real number. You need to prove that between any two real roots of px equals to 0 there is a real root of p prime x plus k px equals to 0. First give a try to it, then I will show the solution. Okay, I will solve it. See, let fx equal to e की power kx into px, then f prime x equal to e की power kx kpx plus p prime x. Let alpha beta be two real parts of px, real roots of px such that alpha less than beta. Then p alpha equal to 0, p beta equal to 0. Therefore f alpha equal to 0, f beta equal to 0. F is continuous on alpha comma beta, and f prime x also exists for all x belongs to alpha comma beta. There f prime x also f alpha equal to f beta because both of them are equal to 0. So by Rolle's theorem there is exist f prime a gamma in alpha comma beta such that f prime gamma equal to 0. So e की power k gamma equal to into kp gamma plus p prime gamma equal to 0. This implies kp gamma plus p prime gamma equal to 0. Since e की power k gamma cannot be 0, so therefore gamma is a root of the equation kpx plus p prime x equals to 0, where alpha is less than gamma less than beta. So this is the proof. How using simple Rolle's theorem statement by considering a suitable function we have shown the existence of root of a polynomial constructed from another polynomial. Just watch this proof for a few minutes. I will next move to the next question. Okay, I will move to the next problem. So let f is a function from a comma b to r. This is continuous on a comma b, and f double prime x exists for all x belongs to a comma b, open interval. Let a less than c less than b, then prove that there exists a point xi in a comma b such that fc equal to b minus c by b minus a fa, c minus a by c minus b fb plus half of c minus a c minus b f double prime xi. This is our question which we need to solve. Okay, I need to hurry up bit. Okay, so how to prove? Let consider a function phi such that a comma b to r be defined as phi x equal to fx minus x minus b into x minus c into a minus b into a minus c fa minus x minus a by b minus c into b minus a fb minus x minus a c minus a x minus b c minus b fc. Phi is continuous on a comma b since f is continuous on a comma b, since f double prime x exists for all x belongs to a comma b. F prime is continuous on a comma b, therefore f double prime x exists so for all x belongs to open interval a comma b, and phi prime is continuous on double f ab, and hence phi is differentiable on ab. Now phi a equal to 0, phi b equal to 0, phi c equals to 0. We apply Rolle's theorem to the function first on a comma c and then on c comma b. So there exists phi prime xi1 equal to 0 and phi prime xi2 equals to 0 for some xi1 belonging to a comma c and xi2 belonging c comma b. Now apply Rolle's theorem to this function phi prime on xi1 xi2. We have phi double prime xi for some xi within xi1 and xi2, that is phi double prime xi equal to 0 for some xi belonging to a comma b. But what is phi double prime xi? From our construction, this function phi double prime xi is f double prime xi minus 2fa by a minus b into a minus c minus 2fb b minus c b minus a minus 2fc c minus a c minus b. And now phi double prime xi equal to phi double prime xi equal to 0. So sorry, f double prime xi equal to becomes this, and finally we get fc equal to, because here we have fc equal to b minus c by b minus a fa, c minus a by b minus a fb plus half of c minus a c minus b f double prime xi. So that means by repetitive application of Rolle's theorem. Next, use mean value theorem to prove that 0 less than 1 by x log of e की power x minus 1 by x less than 1 for x greater than 0. Quickly write these three questions, 9, 10, 11. I am giving 3-4 minutes to write these questions. Quickly write this question. Okay, so next problem, maybe here. 9, 10, 11. Okay, first we will try to solve question 10. So using the idea of question 10, you can solve 9 and 9 you can solve easily. So I will question 10, your fx is square root of 1 plus x. We need to show that 1 plus x by 2 minus x square 8 is less than 1 plus x, square root of 1 plus x less than or equal to 1 plus x by 2. So by Taylor's theorem with Lagrange's form of, first we need to determine fx, then f prime x, f double prime x, f triple prime x. By Taylor's theorem with Lagrange's form of remainder after 3 terms for any x greater than or equal to 0, we get fx equal to f0 plus x f prime 0 plus x square factorial 2 f double prime 0 plus x cube by factorial 3 f triple prime c for some c belongs to 0 comma x. Square root of 1 plus x is 1 plus x by 2 minus x square by 8, you put 0 here, plus x cube by 16 1 plus c 5 by 2. And for x greater than 0, now square root of x plus square root of 1 plus x is greater than or equal to 1 plus x by 2 minus x square by 8. Since x greater than 0 will imply this x cube by 16 1 plus c 5 by 2 is also greater than 0. Now by Taylor's theorem with Lagrange's form of remainder after 2 terms for any x greater than or equal to 0, fx equal to f0 plus x f prime 0 plus x square by factorial 2 f double prime d for some d belonging to 0 comma x. Now square root of 1 plus x becomes 1 plus x by 2 minus x square by 8 plus 1 by d के पावर 3 by 2. So this is will be, because this is a positive term, because d belongs to 0 comma x and x is greater than 0, this is less than 1 plus x by 2. So since x square by 8 into 1 plus d की पावर 3 by 2, this is greater than 0. So therefore square root of 1 plus x is less than 1 plus x by 2. So combining the results, you will get 1 plus x by 2 minus x square by 8 less than 1 by square root of 1 plus x less than 1 plus x by 2. Now let's move to question 11. You first try to read question 11, then I will discuss it. Okay, question 11. Maybe I have missed. Let f double prime be continuous on c minus delta, c plus delta for some delta greater than 0. F double prime is continuous, it is given on some neighborhood of c. We are using this condition that okay, f double prime is continuous on c minus delta, c plus delta for some delta greater than 0. By employing Taylor's theorem with Lagrange's form of remainder after 2 terms for any h satisfying 0 less than h less than delta, we get f of c plus h equal to fc plus h f prime c plus h square by factorial 2 f of c plus theta h, and f of c minus h is fc minus h f prime c plus h square factorial 2 f double prime c minus theta prime h, 0 less than theta prime less than 1. So therefore if you add both sides, you will get f of c plus h plus f of c minus h minus 2fc equal to h square by factorial 2 f double prime c plus theta h plus f double prime c minus theta prime h. Since f double prime is continuous at theta, you can make the limit move in the within the function. So limit h tends to 0, f double prime c plus theta h will give you f double prime c, and f double prime c minus theta prime h will give you f double prime c, because h can move within the function. Hence limit h tends to 0, f of c plus h plus fc minus h by h square minus 2fc is equal to f double prime c. This is what we need to prove. Okay, now you evaluate these limits. A, limit x tends to 0, e power x minus minus x minus 2 log 1 plus x by x sin x. B, limit x tends to 0 plus 1 by x minus 1 by sin x. C, limit x tends to 0 plus sin x by x into 1 by x. Prove these limits now. Try to evaluate these limits now. You have written all this question. Next we will move. So first question is limit x tends to 0, e power x minus e power minus x minus 2 log 1 plus x. Here the limit takes the indeterminate form of 0 by 0. You see, if you put 0 above numerator, you will get 0. If you put here, you will also get 0. So that means it is an indiscriminate form. So we need to use L'Hopital's rules. So for using L'Hopital's rule, we need to take derivative of the numerator as well as the denominator, and then continue the process until the 0 by 0 form vanishes. So limit x tends to 0, e की power x minus e की power minus x 2 log 1 plus x, this is 0 by 0 by x sin x. You take derivative, it becomes e की power x plus e की power minus x minus 2 by 1 plus x, and in the numerator denominator it becomes x cos x minus x sin x plus 2 cos x, sorry, x cos x plus x sin x. Again it becomes 0 by 0 because if you put 0 instead of x you get 2 minus 2 is 0, and here also you will get 0. So employ L'Hopital's rule again, e की power x minus e की power minus x plus 2 1 by 1 plus x whole square minus x sin x plus 2 cos x. So 1 minus 1 plus 2 by 0 plus 2, now it is not 0 by 0. You put the limit x equals to 0, so it becomes 1 minus 1 plus 2 by divided by 0 plus 2, so that becomes 1. Next question is limit x tends to 0 plus 1 by x minus 1 by sin x. How to prove it? So limit x tends to 0 plus 1 by x minus 1 by sin x. You take fx equal to 1 by x and gx equal to 1 by sin x. Consider x belonging to, since 0 plus you take x belongs to 0 to 1, x belongs to 0 to 1. You now fx minus gx, it becomes the indiscriminate form of infinity minus infinity. So how we will do, you will just take जैसे हम करते हैं ना फ्रैक्शन का सम एंड डिफरेंस, उसी तरीके से 1 by x minus 1 by sin x, you take the difference of fractions, so it becomes limit x tends to 0 plus sin x minus x by x sin x, it again becomes 0 by 0. You take derivative with respect to x, it becomes cos x minus 1 by x cos x plus sin x, it becomes again 0 by 0. You implement again L'Hopital's rule, so it will give you minus sin x by minus x sin x plus 2 cos x in the denominator. Now if you put x equals to 0, because now it is not a 0 by 0 form, it is instead the numerator is 0 and the denominator is not 0, so therefore the answer becomes 0. So therefore infinity minus infinity is coming as 0 in some naive sense. So this is the beauty of mathematics. Now next problem, limit x tends to 0 plus sin x by x की power 1 by x. This I am keeping as a home task, solve it on your own. Now the next last two questions. Find a such that limit x tends to 0, a sin x minus sin 2x by tan cube x equal to beta. Find a and b such that limit x tends to a e की power x plus b e की power minus x plus 2 sin x by sin x plus x cos x equal to 2. Are you all with me? Somebody has written something. Oh, I will send in the NPTEL platform itself, you will get the answer, the entire link of my Google folder. I will share the entire Google folder, all the PDFs, answers, or everything. Okay. So I am giving you 15 minutes. Will you solve these questions on your own? These two questions, 13 and 14. I will give this 13 and 14 question. Will you try to solve it on your own? So please give me 10-15 minutes. Okay, I need to drink some tea because I am feeling bit thirsty now, because I am continuously speaking for one hour, more than 1 hour. So I am opening the laptop, I am opening the question PDF, and I will return within 20 minutes. Okay, within 20 minutes I will come. You just solve these two problems, then I will wrap up the session today. Okay, is it clear? Ritam sir, are you with us? Is it clear?
Yes, I am with you, and is it clear? It is clear.
Okay, so can I go?
You can take your break.
Okay, so can I take the break? Thank you.
Yes, you can take your break.
Okay,
Okay.
so these are the two problems. So you need to solve these two problems. Okay. Okay, so I will again I am opening the question, you try to solve it. Okay, I am just coming within 15 minutes again, and then I will wrap up the session. I will discuss the solution. You will show by opening your camera what you have done. Do not use chat gpt and internet. Okay, try on your own.
Shankar sir, are you there?
Sir, give me other problems.
Okay, is it solved, the both of the questions? Anybody?
Yes.
Okay, so what is the answer?
The question 13, is it A
Yes sir, please repeat, I couldn't hear you properly.
for question 13, the answer is 2.
Okay,
The answer is 2. A is equal to 2.
and question 14?
I'm just sure. Question 13, 1 3.
Okay, question 13.
A is equal to 2.
Yes, A equal to 2. Yes.
A is equal to 2. And question 14, A is equal to 1.
Minus 1, 1.
Yes, A equal to 1.
And B is equal to minus 1.
Minus 1.
B equal to minus 1. Okay, yes. So those who couldn't solve it, just it is a repeated application of again application of L'Hopital's rule. So a sin x minus sin 2x by tan cube x is equal to beta. So for beta to exist finitely, you should have, because tan cube x is 0 at x tends to 0. So a sin x minus sin 2x must be 0. So that means a sin x minus sin 2x equal to 0. Okay, so from here you can directly determine. So you take derivative, it becomes a cos x minus 2 cos 2x by 3 tan square x sec square x. So 3 tan square x sec square x, this should this is actually tends to 0 as x tends to 0. So a cos x minus 2 cos 2x should also tends to 0. So a cos x minus cos 2x means cos 0 or itself you can also determine from here, because a sin x minus sin 2x yes, because sin 0 is 0 na, so that will not give you answer. You need at least the first derivative, because we understand that why we are not using the numerator. If we use numerator, because sin 0 is 0, so a minus 2 cos x equals to 0, that is a equal to a comes in terms of 2 cos x. So you can take a equal to 2, but that will be not feasible, because other than that value also the numerator can be 0. It has no dependency. The zeroness has not any dependency, because whatever value of a may be, the numerator is still 0. So at least we need to take the first order L'Hopital's rule. So you get a cos x minus 2 cos 2x, which should tends to 0, because the derivative of tan cube x tends to 0 as x tends to 0. So this will give you a equal to 2, and same you apply L'Hopital's rule 2 times. A e ki power x plus b e ki power minus x plus 2 sin x by sin x plus x cos x, this is equals to 2. So sin x plus x cos x tends to 0 as x tends to 0. To use L'Hopital's rule, we must have a e ki power x plus b e ki power minus x plus 2 sin x tends to 0 as x tends to 0. So a plus b equals to 0, a equal to minus 6. Limit x tends to 0, a e ki power x minus a e ki power minus x plus 2 sin x by sin x plus x cos x. Now you use use 1, that means sorry, no, this is your again you imply 0 by 0 from, you put now 0, so it becomes a plus 2 by 2 minus 0, so that is a plus 1. Now from 2 equation 1 you have this a plus 1 value is 2, so a equal to 1. Now a equal to already we have obtained minus b, so that means that b equal to minus 1. So thank you for allowing me that break. That break was necessary for me because for last 3 months I have not taken any TA class, because usually in IIT you have to take one TA class for the institute level as well as you have to take TA in this NPTEL, so for my fellowship. So what happened, there will be 3 months gap in between 2 courses. I have taken last TA in the month of April, so May, June, July, July is coming at the end, so I have not taken any class. So when I speak I am having like my some kind of choking, so, and I am a totally teetotaler. How many of you regularly uses tea, drinks tea? Anybody? And so I needed that break. Okay, thank you very much for joining. In the next class I will start discussing about limit, continuity, limit and continuity of function of 2 variables. So this was a very some kind of preliminary course. Okay, so in the next class we will discuss function of 2 variables. That means we will try to impose limit and continuity on functions defined on R2. Okay. So
Sir, this question PDF you make?
sir, this link is already shared with NPTEL PDF. They are all the entire course structure is already posted. I think I have already shared, because they need some, this Google folder is already shared with them, and you will get in the NPTEL Podium platform itself. This link I have already shared. Did I created any more? No, I have not created any other. So this is already I have shared. There are many important notes like differential equation, some books, and some assignments which I prepared. So everything, and if any further I discuss, then I will put into this NPTEL Engineering Mathematics folder itself. I think it is already shared.
Where to find it? Because I couldn't get it from my portal.
But actually they provide it, that the link, actually they have already taken that link from me. Maybe I have already provided him the link, the NPTEL authority the link. If still not, I will again copy it. I will send it to the NPTEL authority. They will post it in the as a news, or as an information in the portal itself. I will share the link to with NPTEL, no problem. And mostly these are very preliminary notes. Other than that, I have used some of the, I can suggest some books that you can, all of you can follow. Like there is for, this is basic engineering mathematics course. It has everything like calculus, it has I think linear algebra, it has differential equation. Okay, so for differential equation BTech people, this book is very nice book. You can follow this book. For engineering background, okay, not from theoretical math background. Differential equations by DG Gill. The PDF you will get online. I cannot show the PDF because it's a copyrighted material. So differential equations with by Dennis G. Gill. Dennis G. Gill, it is a very nice book. This is actually the book, differential equation, Dennis G. Gill. This is a very nice book for engineering background student. And also differential equations by Swarm Outline series. It is also a nice book if you are from engineering background.
What about calculus?
This is the very nice book for differential equation, Swarm Outlines differential equation. Similarly, calculus by Swarm series you can also follow. These are the books which I follow in IIT Ropar to teach the teaching student. This is a very nice book. Swarm Outliers Calculus. You can follow Frank J. Ayer's book. Frank J. Ayer's book is the first book on calculus in Swarm series. Frank Ayers. That is also a nice book. This book, Frank Ayers. You will get this PDF. And for vector calculus, the classical book of linear algebra, also there is book of Swarm series. You can also follow that book. That is a bit high advanced series. These books are very nice. I personally like from my initial BSc days. So I think it is of Seymour Lipstadt and Mark Lipson. Swarm series linear algebra. This is also a nice book.
Sir, next class is 28th July, but lectures are uploaded there yesterday. So can I complete it?
One minute, I couldn't hear you. I am switching off my fan. Yes. Yes, tell me.
Sir, lectures are uploaded yesterday, but next class is day after tomorrow. Then what will do?
Oh, that is a very different question. Okay, you try as much as you can follow. I will take the next year on next Sunday same time, 6 to 8. Okay. I will discuss. I will thoroughly discuss.
Yes.
I will discuss
Reschedule them.
next Sunday.
Yes. Reschedule next Sunday. Okay.
No. I will take classes on each Sunday only. I do not have class on Monday.
Okay.
There may be some other TA. I do not know. I will take class in each Sunday. In each Sunday 6 to 8. This is the slot. And I will go home in the next week. So probably on the 16th August class I will take in some other day, because in 16th August I will have my flight from Kolkata to Chandigarh, because I will go my home in next week. Next week I will take class, because I will already reach my home. But I have my return flight on Sunday. So that class, because I will be traveling, so I will not be able to take the class. I will inform the NPTEL authority, they will reschedule it. Okay. But in the next two classes I have no problem. I will go home. I will take class from home. I am going home in the next Friday only. Friday night I have flight. And then I will stay in my home for 2 weeks, and then I will again return to my institute, because this is my last semester and I have not visited my home for 3-4 months. So I am feeling bit homesick in my last year, so I need to go home.
Excuse me, Shankar sir,
Yes.
may I leave the session because I have some other...
Yes, obviously. Thank you everybody for joining.
Okay, thank you
Bye.
for your time.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, sir. Bye.
Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.